She says, full stop. Full stop, she says.
Full stop. Full stop. Wait, we're live. What, everybody? Zip it up or slide.
It must have been sensitive data they were talking about.
Yeah.
Nicole.
Ow.
Introduce our friend Sorboni.
This is my bestie, Sorboni.
Hi.
Hi.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hanging out with you here. This is awesome.
I know. I love it. I love it. We met at the a No Women event, and
That's
Sorboni was
met?
hosting it, or like hosting the panel or something. That's when I first got my eyes on her. And then from there, I followed you on social, and we talked back and forth a couple times, but I don't know where we actually like met and decided we're going to be friends.
I think, sometimes when you meet people who are building similar ventures or have the same ideals, it's just instant chemistry. And I mean, the two of you working together, it's the same. When we met, when your mission is to help other people tell their stories and get their message out there, it's easy. You're like, oh, I want to do this. I want to help people do that. And it just is like water.
It did.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Very much so. And then of course we're like, well, we got to do stuff together. So we hosted a women's workshop, and if you get us together, it's just like a pile of ideas, and we're just work each other up into a frenzy. and then that's how it goes. And so we participated in YA by the Bay last year, the reading festival, and we were just excited to be a part of it. Grant's an author, and so I think you were geeking out a little bit about it, and it was at the Tampa Convention Center. So it was just like a wonderful day for us to come be a part of something and support you at the same time. It was such a win-win, and so we're going to be a part of it this year, but in a different capacity. And so that's what we wanted to talk to you about, among all the other things.
Yeah,
but
generally we talk about marketing and launching things.
Yeah.
And so I've been super curious. I mean, before we came on, we were talking about your headliner is R.L. Stine, and how he's nostalgia for a lot of people. And the context of that is YA by the Bay, but we got a lot of other stuff to talk about. But before we go into any of that, what is YA by the Bay?
Yeah.
And why YA for you?
YA. Okay. So let's rewind for anybody who we're just meeting for the first time. I was a news anchor for 22 years, and most recently here in Tampa for almost a decade. And so I'm also a novelist, and I'm both of those things because I love telling people's stories. I love creating entertainment. I love connecting people through storytelling. And so that's how those two things came together. But when I published my first book, I was out at these different conferences, and I would get to meet my readers, my young adult readers.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then they were gone. I would sign a book. I'd have a conversation. They'd ask me a question like, well, how did you get started? Did you ever think you could publish a book? How did you get, a big publisher? Well, and they were gone. And so I started talking to some author friends of mine, and now a really dear friend of mine who's currently still a news anchor at Fox 13, Linda Hurtado. Linda Bond is her pen name. So Bond, Linda Bond.
Yeah.
She and I have really worked together this year to come up with the idea, what if we brought authors to the kids? The kids can't go to the authors all over the place. What if we brought them here? So we created a festival that isn't just sign a book, answer half a question, and send them on their way. We created a festival where for 2 full days, almost 2,000 kids get to come in, meet with 40 authors, best-selling authors, self-published authors. We've got poets, we've got playwrights, we've got influencers, we have podcasters, and they are going to teach these kids how to be the author of your own life, as we say. And
I like that.
I mean, what does that mean to you? If I say be the author of your own life, what does that mean to you too?
I mean, I could riff, but
nobody tells me what to do.
Yeah.
That's my little girl response, right? My childhood response. Yeah.
My childhood response.
I would respond to that, Nicole, though, that like actually somebody does tell you what to do. Somebody always tells you what to do. And that's you.
Right.
And so I say you're the author of your own life. I want our students who attend to leave feeling empowered, that they have the tools, the storytelling tools, how to order their ideas, how to create compelling, emotional material, that whatever it is that they want to say, whether they're trying to get a job, write a college essay, express themselves in an argument, explain to somebody their point of view, especially if there's tension. Maybe they just want somebody to understand their background, where they came from, their history, their story. They want to be seen. I want them to leave with the tools to tell their story to the world. And I want them to be able to tell the story of their dreams to themselves. If you can tell yourself what your success story is, chances are you're going to reach it a heck of a lot easier than if you're kind of keep yourself small.
So here's a question, because when Nicole and I first started running together, one of the first compliments she said, but by proxy, one of the things she wanted to learn from me was how to tell her own story. So can you give us a sneak peek or a framework or even an insight into how one can begin to start framing their own story? Because I think this is crucial. So what insight would you give to the lovely Nicole on her birthday, by the way?
Oh, it's your birthday?
It's her birthday.
It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday!
I know. It's such a great way to celebrate it.
And so I have a tradition, and tonight we're going to go to dinner. I have a tradition where I start asking questions of what was the biggest thing you overcame this year? What's the biggest success that you had? What are you looking forward to next year? Which helps someone kind of start framing their story. How do you help equip these young adults and others at Bronzite, which we'll talk about in a second, to begin telling their story?
I think the first thing that we want the kids at this festival to understand is that you have to be open, you have to be vulnerable. You cannot be scared that your words are not good enough. So a big part of this festival is empowering them with confidence that their ideas are awesome, that they've got to share them, that they can brainstorm, they can group ideate, they can support each other. So a lot of the panels at the festival are about how do you pitch your idea? How do you build your community? How do you create a fan base? How do you connect? A lot of it is also, what books do you like? What stories make you feel alive? What music? So first, I think to tell your story, you have to crack yourself open a little bit. And then after that, you have to be willing to share it. And to do that, you have to have the right people around you. That's sort of the interior work that you push forward. To give you something more tangible, I always ask people, whether it's a client or some of the students or the authors, what do you want? I know it sounds like a simple question, but what do you want? And really, what do you want most? What do you want that you're scared to say out loud because you're scared people are going to laugh at you? What do you want that you're scared sounds entitled? Like, ooh, does she think she's that great? Does he think he can achieve that? What do you want? Because if you can really say something big and bold out loud, then you can start creating that path to achieving it. That's why we call it the Story Warrior Festival. Your story is your strongest tool to blaze your way through the world and find success. So if you can wield your story, then you can begin to achieve your dreams.
Yeah, I agree. The clarity, and just from us coaching people, the first thing that we talk about or ask is like, what do you really want from this? And they have to identify what that is. And a lot of times they hadn't done that yet. They just kind of have like some things in the air that they thought would be cool, but then they put like a stake in the ground and they're like, no, I do want to do this. And I'm like you're saying, that starts that empowerment journey. The minute they decide that they want those things,
And Paul, you remember my favorite next thing after what do you want, right?
What's that?
It's what do you want? Who am I? How can I help? So what do I want? I want to let's make something up, or you answer it. What do you want? Happy birthday. What do you want?
There it is. She's asking.
I want to bring all of my favorite people together and enjoy a fun evening.
Okay. So what do you want out of life? Like, what do you want? Really?
What do I want?
That's the real question. That's the real she's asking.
Yeah. I want a stable, strong business, and oh my gosh, that makes lots of money. Am I just going to be so basic right now?
No, that is not basic at all. That is absolutely, it is simple. It is tangible. You said, I want to have a successful business and I want to be financially successful as well.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I push people further. I'm like, say, I want to be rich.
Yeah.
Don't ever worry about money again. Because why? Why don't you want to worry about money? Probably for me, freedom to
right.
do all the things and
spend more time with loved ones, have more experiences, all the things. Yeah.
So who are you? Existentially, who are you? But who are you? You're a coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're also a mom. You're also you're into fitness. You're also a friend. So
Right.
how do those things come together? So what do you want? Now look, we're telling a story.
Right.
What do I want? I am, if I'm you, I would say I'm a marketing and social media story coach, and I want to have my business be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to be so successful that I am financially secure enough to spend time with the people I care about and own my days. So that I can help. What do you do?
Yeah. You're so good at this.
I love asking questions. That's what I did as a recruiter.
I know. You're so good. I love it.
Why?
Yeah, literally. I forget who we were talking to even today that was just like, I was at the gym and this one older guy was like, I don't have a lot of friends. And I was like, okay, why?
The gym conversations are out of control.
And he's like, because I'm too curious. I ask why too much. And he got into like, that's why I'm on X, Y, and Z politics, and that's why I'm not in X, Y, and Z religions. And I was like, okay, like let's go, gym conversations.
Yeah.
But that why conversation. So here's my question to you: how did you land with being so passionate about helping people extract their story?
What a great question. You know what? I don't know that too many people have asked me that.
Really? Like that's the core question.
Yeah, that is so interesting because everybody will acknowledge that I get super hyped up and excited and talk a mile a minute. What did you say, Nicole? You said we work ourselves into a frenzy. I love that.
Yes.
So I clearly get worked up over this, but it's interesting. The reason why, two reasons. I'm thinking about this on the fly. See, I like to see people change and grow. And so this is instant change. I fell in love with coaching, actually working with other authors during the pandemic, other friends who just never had to be on camera before. And they had never had to do anything virtually on a screen, and they were nervous. And I gave them a few tips, just things that I had picked up in TV over 2 decades. And I saw things that I was just doing subconsciously, I had to turn into tangible steps. Be like, okay, sit like this, talk like this, do this, speak in certain ways, rearrange your words to connect. And all of a sudden I realized I knew some things that I didn't realize other people didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that was the big takeaway. And I watched people suddenly start to blossom. And it was so rewarding. I was like, wow, I don't know that I want to do anymore. I want to teach. I want to see this change. And I think for me, I grew up really shy. And I think I've told you this, Nicole.
Stop this. I do not buy that.
I know. I grew up so shy and I had so much to say and I was so worried what other people would think and saying the wrong thing. And I so desperately wanted to be liked by everyone and friendly and never say something that brought the room to that, screech halt. That I didn't talk very much.
Wow.
And I don't want other kids, especially at a young age, to feel like their voice isn't important. And that continues on and on. I mean, how many times somebody might be in a boardroom? I coach executives and CEOs and news anchors and entrepreneurs now. And there's always like a little piece of that little girl I just told you about in all of us. They sit there and go, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. Should I volunteer that in the boardroom? Or I have to give this big speech to 2 giant companies that just merged. Are they going to accept me from this other company? We all have that voice inside us that says, are my words going to land?
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do. It's like, yeah, your words are going to land, but first they have to fly. They have to fly. They have to put on this great show in the sky, and yes, then they'll land.
That's cute. That's cute.
So how?
Maybe I'll use it again if it's cute.
Yeah.
So how did that land with young adults in this event?
In this event, we have all sorts of panels that we do that are really, really fun, but each one has a core message. So when these kids come in at the Tampa Convention Center next week, when they come in, they'll go to all different concurrent panels that are running, starring the authors. And these panels will have interactive games, for example, Shark Tank, but make it books. In Shark Tank, but make it books, we have a deep dive conversation with all of these incredible authors about how they pitched their idea, ones that didn't work, ones that did, how they honed their idea to sell, how they created their communities online, what they think it is that resonated in their stories. So all the deep stuff. But then any kid who wants to pitch their idea can get a pitch card, and it's randomly chosen. And if they're brave enough, they can pitch to our sharks, our authors, their idea. And the authors will instantly help and say, okay, that's great. Here's a way to sharpen it. That's amazing. Here's where I see this landing. And we'll win a free book. So we make it fun too.
That is fun.
But scary for a young adult.
Yeah.
Author.
Yeah. That's the best way to learn, though. You're like, oh, I guess I got to talk.
They don't have to, and even we have another one, Truth or Dare, the author edition. The authors will pull truth cards and have to answer really fun questions. Again, some deep and interesting questions, of course, about their process, about their inspiration, but also funny things like, do you eat weird snacks while you're on deadline? What's the strangest habit that you have while you're writing a book? The funny things too. Wow. Have you ever been embarrassed by something that you wrote that you wish you could take back? We'll put the authors on the spot, and then the kids will get fun dares like read this opening chapter line from R.L. Stine, but like Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
And again, the kids are going to volunteer. So, and if they get something that they volunteered and then they're like, no.
Yeah.
We're not going to make anybody do anything they don't want to do.
Yeah. That's
we have a lot of deep panels too. Reading and writing to heal. We have conversations about mental health. We have conversations about financial literacy too. Finance is a dream. We have financial experts from all around the community coming in because we never want a kid to be told, go get a real job. Every job is a real job. Approach it right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, if you don't mind, tell me briefly, and we'll circle back here. Tell me briefly about Bronzite, what you do at Bronzite, and obviously a lot of these skills are transferring, but how long have you been doing the corporate coaching side? Do I have that right? The executive and messaging coaching?
Well, she coaches for Talent Dynamics too. So whichever. I don't know which one you're referring to.
I do both. So Bronzite Media is my husband and my company right here in Tampa. And this is hands-on. We are with companies, with entrepreneurs, with creators, and we help people build out shows. We've built out YouTube shows for people that have a lot of traction. It's really fun. We have a really cool show called Galley Gourmet, where it's about big taste, small space, and it's cooked in a tiny galley kitchen. But you're amazing gourmet meals. Yeah. And that has been a really fun show to build out. We also do a lot of coaching with, like, let's say, executive teams who are about to put a big presentation together. Sometimes it's just communication behind the scenes, like helping them with their team conversations.
Yes.
So that's what I do there. And then with Talent Dynamics, I coach news anchors and reporters all across the country on how to do compelling live shots and connect with the audience and meet more modern day expectations about what the viewer wants. I mean, people want different things now because of social media. They expect.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. This must look so different for them now because they have to consider social media and what's popular, what's trending, what getting people to stay and watch. So do you find that there's like a disconnect, or it's hard to kind of get their mind from like it's almost like going from like this super corporate mindset to like a little bit more liberal of like a show,
Yeah. I think you two must think about this a lot, because when you're working with your clients in terms of their voice and how they want to appear, there's two big things: credibility and relatability. How are you credible? And how are you also relatable at the same time? I think that's the biggest challenge that we have right now, not just in the news. Now, anybody who's on camera.
Business owners, they have to stay professional, but they know they need to be online. So they're like walking this edge of like, I still need to, be the authority and not, it can not go down a slippery slope of social media dances,
Exactly. Like just doing the voiceovers and the trends and the games and the dancing, how do you make sure that you're playful and you're fun, but you are also credible, and it's walking that line. I think over the course of the 3 years that I've been doing this since leaving on air news, the biggest common denominator, the takeaway for me is it's about the viewer. It's not about what we're doing and the credibility and relatability that we're projecting. It's how it lands on the viewer. How are we making them feel? And they want to feel like the most important person in the room. They want to feel like they are a part of what's happening. And so what I work on with all of my clients is, how do you make your audience feel like an active participant in the experience?
Oh man.
That's good.
And that, whether you're on a live shot and you're showing somebody something, it's that come with me vibe. Or you're a doctor and you're on, a Facebook Live and you're explaining, something to your fellow doctors or to your patients. You need to make them feel like they're not watching a show, but they're having a conversation. It's a dialogue. And that is all in language choice. And that's in your pausing, and that's in engagement. It's really not hard because we do that in real life. That's how we talk. Back and forth. So it's just reminding people to stop performing and just start being the same person that they are when they are that credible business owner, that the person that walks into your business, right? Somebody walks in, okay, you're going to say, welcome. You're going to tell them what you do. What are you going to do? You're going to say, this is who I am. This is what I do. How can I help? That's exactly what you do when they walk in. And then you have some fun. You show them something, you laugh, you have a joke, you goof off, but you probably don't start with the TikTok dance.
Yes.
That comes later.
That comes after we have 2 conversations, right, Nicole? Yeah. Then we did the TikTok dance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's tough to transition. So I'm thinking of a lot of our more boring businesses, the trades, the pest control company clients, and you start talking to them about content, and their first pushback is, well, I don't want to be silly. And it's like, okay, I get that. And so then you have to convince them that it's just a conversation. And then, once they make the transition, though, it's hard to get them off of camera. And sometimes you even have to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't, let our whole hair hang out. Like, now we got to dial it in. But it takes a long time to get them to make that shift. The only caveat to that is, unless it's full entertainment, and full entertainment does include the viewer in a different way, meaning, if you're having a Mr. Beast game show style, you're still talking to them and it's like, hey, watch what we're going to do. Can you guess what happens next? And, like, you're engaging them in a different way, but it's tough. They do work themselves up. So what's a tip you give them, the average client or the average person, the average business owner, to help get their head around no content, no reels, not talking to the camera? Is there any tips you give them when they start talking to the camera to help loosen them up?
I think it's the length. I don't start with the facts, start with a shared universal emotion. And that's so there's a tendency that the credibility part, right? We want to make sure that the people know why they should listen to us. So we're like, well, I've been in business for 10 years and I've sold X amount and I've done this. And in 1993, this happened. And then all of a sudden it's like, blah, 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 I don't care. But if you start with a shared universal experience, again, making your audience feel seen, making them feel important, you've now gained their attention and you've calmed yourself down. So it would be, instead of saying, this is all the things that I've done, you would say, when you're looking for the right person to build your house, there are probably a lot of questions you have. How long have they been in business? What's their reputation? Are they family owned? Do they have a mass production going on where I'm not going to get the attention I need? I want you to understand a few things about my business. Now there's buy-in. I've given you what you want, and now there's buy-in, versus sitting down. And that's when a client might be like, hello, I'm John.
My name is
years, and I'm family owned and I have houses all across Tampa. And now you're like, okay, you're selling me something.
Yeah, good for you.
That's funny. So 2 frameworks come to mind. One is, as you're talking about it, it seems to correlate to the ethos, pathos, logos.
Yes.
Like, have you heard that framework before? Develop an ethos with them.
I know that you are super passionate about this, so I want you to go through it.
Oh, Well, I mean, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because it sounds like you're handing, but it's almost kind of like the parallels feel, felt, found. Like, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found is when you partner with a small business like ours,
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. And so let me ask you this now. That's something you've helped plenty of newscasters and executives work on, whether through your coaching of newscasters or Bronzite Media and that sort of coaching. How are you bringing some of these confidence builders or framework building? And then there's a lot of great speakers, but what can, I guess, attendees of YA by the Bay expect maybe in this realm of learning how to tell their story or learning how to get in front of the camera themselves? Because I think one thing that we're going to talk about is to get your book bought, there's a lot of things. You either got to have a great book, a really good book and a good network, or you kind of got to have a good following these days. And a lot of these authors kind of like reject being on camera. Am I projecting a little bit? They kind of resist being on camera a little bit.
She actually said, she's like, come hang out because some of the authors have a hard time getting on camera.
Are you finding that true?
This is a new thing. Think about, but any business, right? We never used to have to market ourselves and put on a show starring us.
Yeah.
People aren't comfortable doing that. And you know that there are other ways that you can show up for your readers and engage with them without having to physically be on camera like this and say, hey, how's it going? You could do point of view shots. You can do books. You can show quotes from your story. There are so many creative ways to connect on social media where you physically don't have to be the show.
Right.
So a lot of authors, I mean, their craft is words. Their craft is taking you somewhere else. They are trying to disappear. They don't want you to be thinking about them when you're reading the book. You're supposed to go into a different world. So I think it's hard to reinsert yourself back into that conversation with the readers. But there's certainly ways to do it. And that's why we're really excited. I mean, in news, we call this burying the lead, you two. You buried the lead. You made people wait like half an hour that you two will be at the festival helping with the Influencer Academy and doing a edition of it all day long for these students. And so you asked, what's the takeaway for the kids? We're actually going to be helping find it for them. You really are, because you're helping them find that personal branding mission statement. The goal is that each of these kids leaves knowing themselves a little better, because that goes back to that initial thing. You can't tell your story until you know what you want. And so I hope that they leave with, I am Sorboni and I want to be an author when I grow up, and I'm going to do it in this way.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about them leaving with that, especially on social media, so that, because that's one of the first places that they share their story is on social media. So we want to make sure that they have like that outline, that formula to go back onto social media and be more clear about what they want, who they are, and use social media.
But you just brought up a really good point that I had not considered. In general, I'm a writer, but I don't find myself to be the prototypical writer. Most writers, my sister-in-law is an author and she loves writing YA, and she's way out in Washington State.
My question was, where is she? Why isn't she coming?
She would be if she lived here. She loves it. I find these people, I'm generalizing, and I would correct myself in this generalization. They're introverts. They have story inside of them and it's beautiful, but they don't want to be in front of the camera. They kind of avoid. But you raised a great point. As authors, though, fulfilling their calling and people not seeing them, but seeing the story. And that's a more noble way to view that. And I really appreciate you sharing that. And that can help shape when we coach or when we attend and help coach some of them through this. That develops a lot of empathy inside of me to go, oh, dang, okay, you're right.
You're not just shy. You're not just little shy.
You're not just shy. You don't just need to be at loudmouth like me, but maybe these are other content pillars you could approach. Maybe reading a section from your book, maybe not even having you read it all, but maybe narrate a section that you're very proud of and do some B-roll of writing, the typewriter or something beautiful. So that I really appreciate you sharing is what I'm saying, because I hadn't really thought about, no, they're fulfilling this kind of divine calling to put the story in front of themselves. And we don't want to upset that apple cart over much, if that
Yeah, I
makes
mean, you
sense.
Or
disappear.
learn to work with it
Mm-hmm.
versus, you have to do it this way. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's a bit of encouragement you have before we let you go on with your afternoon? To the average author, to the average YA author, I guess I should be more specific. What's your encouragement to the average author?
Oh, the encouragement right now that I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
There is no more one way to do things. That is,
Mhm.
when I was growing up, if you wanted to be an author, you had to get, an agent and an editor and a publisher and a book deal. And then when self-publishing first started, it was like, oh, you have to pay to get it printed and order 500 copies to your house, and then you have to go hand sell them from your car. And it was very much like you were hustling at some really like different level.
Mm.
TikTok, Book Talk has
Mhm.
unified and given choice to the reader, and the
I agree.
readers can discover anybody.
Mm.
And now self-publishing has become so incredibly advanced. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a book from like one of the big five publishers and one that somebody did on KDP, on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing.
Yeah.
And so if you do your due diligence and you still work with an editor and you write a beautiful story and you create, professional looking art, you can create a book that you don't have to wait 10 years to sell. And you can then grab your audience and cultivate it with the
Mhm.
help of people
Mm.
like you at the Influencer Academy. You can help connect to the readers directly. There's now a direct to consumer path
Mm. Yeah.
that I don't even know what the word would be other than like it's universal. It's somehow
Mm.
leveled the playing field.
Yes.
Anybody who wants to be an author, it's like no more excuses. I guess that's the thing. Like that's the encouragement. No more excuses. You can publish your way,
You
any
can.
way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Publish yourself until you get that big deal, or you can just keep pushing. You have choices. And
Mm.
there's no reason to not tell your story.
I love that. So what can a few people expect? We touched on it a little earlier. Let's circle back. What are some of the highlights that attendees can like really look forward to that you're kind of geeked out about?
Okay, so the field trip is one thing, but that's actually closed to Pinellas County and Hillsborough County. It's a
Mhm.
field trip, and it's from 9 to 2 like the school day.
Mm.
But on Thursday, next Thursday, on the 25th, we're obviously not going to keep the doors closed for everybody. We have a big public book fair. Do you remember the book fairs at school growing up?
Of course.
Yeah, the pan pizza. That's what I remember. Do you remember those? You get the sticker. Yeah, you get this big button, and it was like if you read, they put the sticker on. You take it to Pizza Hut, and you get the deep personal pan pizza. Like they need to bring this back. Like that's what I remember.
The Scholastic Book Fair.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm
You're
sorry.
thinking of like how many books you read.
Yeah.
You get you record it. Yeah.
I mean,
Pizza.
These things work though, but yeah, the magic of the Scholastic Book Fair, you would go
Yeah.
in and you could buy books, but you could also buy notebooks. Do you remember Trapper Keepers, Nicole?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
The best.
Okay. Okay, you could get like a sparkly unicorn Trapper Keeper, a juicy strawberry smelling eraser,
Yeah.
and your next favorite read that was going to keep you up all night.
I
It was
do.
magical. So what we wanted to do was create that same vibe for adults, for kids. It's all ages. So opening up at 3:30 on Thursday,
Okay.
with panels and everything starting at 4, we
Mhm.
have a public book fair. And we're going to have R.L. Stine and Tiffany D. Jackson, an incredible best-selling author, in a fireside chat together. We have Case Kenny, who you've probably seen him on social media.
Mhm.
He writes these beautiful, empowering messages in red marker.
Yes.
And I guarantee you've probably shared
Really?
it at some point. He's going to be there doing his podcast live for a live audience.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
going to
you
be
have to make these-
amazing. And then we have all of our other 40 authors rotating through Ask Me Anything sessions, where it's about how to publish, how to write books, how to make good characters. There's some for kids. You want to be an author when you grow up. There's some for adults. And we even have a college essay boot camp for parents and kids to attend together, so their kids can just rock that essay and get where they want to be.
Super cool.
Yes.
And we have a wallaby coming because why not? I know.
Why not?
And
Yeah.
novels, and we have a marketplace. The Saucy Queen is her name. I love this name. A wonderful vendor named Michelle, for real, but she has the most amazing hot sauce. She
Oh, I love hot sauce.
started a marketplace.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All these local vendors coming in. They're selling fun things, everything from like make your own beautiful wildflower bouquet to bookmarks to bags to candles. All sorts of amazing creators are coming together so you can shop there. And we have a pop-up bookstore from Oxford Exchange where you can get all the books of our featured authors and beyond, and a big signing with everybody. So you can come literally meet animals, meet authors, learn how to write a book, eat hot sauce, get scared by R.L. Stein.
This literally sounds like a book lover's paradise. Like,
it really does.
Like if I wasn't already coming, I'd be like, wait, I'm in. I just heard about the hot sauce wallaby and I'm in.
Yeah.
I think, okay, ready? I think you just found what my hashtag needs to be. Hot sauce wallaby.
Yes.
Nobody knows what that means.
That's memorable. It is.
You two might have to divide and conquer on one of your panels. You might have to leave one of you manning the Influencer Academy, and one of you has to hop into our panel called the hashtag hot seat. Where we're challenging kids. We're going to give them genre mashups. So it would be like horror romance. Give me the hashtag that you think would go viral. And then there's a conversation behind it with the authors, like how do you generate that fandom, right?
Yeah.
Just to get everybody going off the top. Like if I told you horror romance, what could be a hashtag for that?
Oh man.
Fight Club.
Well, Fight Club. Horror romance? Maybe.
Fight Club? I mean,
so you'll be going to that
Zombie
one.
Pony is like where
Zombie Pony?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about zombie prom problems? Hashtag zombie.
Oh, I like that.
So things like that. So if I said, let's go road trip, like road trip, and what's another big genre that's popular in YA? Road trip and dystopian road trip.
Oh, I like that.
That could be like, I don't know, like apocalyptic car snacks.
Yes, or like Mario Kart, but like dark. Like what we'd have to think of something.
Right. Like
that's funny.
Yeah, you'll have to do that.
That sounds super fun. That would actually just be a great like tabletop game, you know?
That would.
Well, you know what? If the kids like it, there's only, I think, 1 or 2 rounds of that. If they like it and they come into your session, play some extra rounds.
Yeah, there you go.
I love that. Well, is this the best place for people to engage with YA by the Bay, or is there another Facebook page, or where should people be finding you?
Our website is updated with like all the stuff that you need, the schedule, the QR code to sign up. We do have tickets. It's free, but just reserve your seat because last time the ballroom did fill up for
I can attest.
For the R.L. Stein draw. So it's not like we're charging you, but we do just want to make sure that we have a head count and we can tell people like, hey, sorry, it's full. We don't want to have to turn people away. Right. So we also are sharing it on Instagram, which is Y by the Bay, at Y by the Bay. So that is probably the best place to find it. Or just if you follow me, it's all I talk about.
Excellent.
It's all I wear. It's my decor.
It's my decor.
It's everything now.
I love it. And you have a team, like you have a co-author. Is your co-author going to be there?
I have an amazing team right now. So I have a team of 4 people who have single-handedly pulled this thing together. Yeah. It is amazing. We have partners in the community who have showed up amazingly as well. ReliaQuest was one of our first believers. ReliaQuest Bowl, they donated an amazing monetary contribution. We also worked with the Sheriff's Indian Advisory Council, and they were our sponsors who secured the convention center for the Hillsborough County kids. Wow. Pinellas has been an incredible partner helping get education grants, not only to make sure the kids could come, but things you might not think of, lunch. You know, a lot of the kids that we're serving in both Pinellas and Hillsborough, they're coming from Title I schools. So we don't want them to come to the convention center and have to buy lunch. Yes. We want to make sure that they eat, they're happy, that they leave with t-shirt. Yes. And then we have books that we had donations from. Schimberg Law here donated books, the Jennings Foundation, Cash Kick. So now we're able to give at least 2 books to every school library for the kids that attend. Yes. And again, they can win books as well. So it's really
you have pulled this together, Sorboni. This is super fun. I really look forward to it next week.
If you don't mind, you 2 being part of it.
Yeah, it's going to be
so valuable. The kids are clamoring for your content.
Yes. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Stick around real quick. We're gonna depart here, but stick around with us real quick. And I want to hear from Nicole real quick. What's your biggest takeaway? What are you looking forward to most?
I just think Sorboni's making reading cool again.
Reading, and it like, why did
I mean,
it
I
stop
know it
being
exists.
cool?
I think it does still exist in these circles, but it's just as kids get pulled away from books and more online and to social media, there's just it's sad, and I see it. I have kids, and I see it happening. I just think it's these kinds of events that are going to bring the kind of access that people need to continue their path as an author, but also brings attention to books again and authors in like a fun way that could pique somebody's interest who may have gotten off and just like a social media only. And they're like, wait, everybody else is doing this. I'm going to try it. I don't know. I think it just can bring people back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say books and reading made the biggest difference for me growing up, and the difficult things you go through as a teen, as a young adult. I know there's going to be others than just young adults at this event because we all nerd out about books.
Yeah, there's a ton of adults that were just like R.L. Stein fans or just wanted to be there.
Yeah, so please come out Thursday, Friday. Is there a Saturday time frame or is it just Thursday, Friday?
I'm pretty sure it's just Thursday, Friday. It's just
but check it out, YA by the Bay. You cannot be as nearly excited as I am to be around books and authors and just sit in that environment. We were there last year. We captured some content, and I'm excited to be a part this year. Check it out, Sorboni at yabythebay.org. Is it not .org? The website's .org.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.